and for being here. So we're going to skip the kirtan tonight, and we're reading Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 2. That's 4:27:2. So if you have a book or if you have it on your phone, please bring that up. So I'm going to read the Sanskrit translation and the purport. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 2. Saraja Mahishing Rajan Susnatam Ruchirananam Krita Swastyananam Triptam Abhyanandad Upagatam Saha He Raja the king, Mahishim the queen, Rajan, O king, Susnatam, nicely bathed, Ruchira Ananam, attractive face, Kritaswasti Ayanam, dressed with auspicious garments and ornaments. Triptam, satisfied. Abhyanandat, he welcomed. Upagatam, approached. Translation, the queen took her bath and dressed herself nicely with all auspicious garments and ornaments. After taking food and becoming completely satisfied, she returned to the king. Upon seeing her beautifully decorated, attractive face, the king welcomed her with all devotion. So because we're doing everything quickly tonight, we're just going to go ahead into the purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A woman is generally accustomed to dress herself nicely with fine garments and decorative ornaments. She may even sometimes wear flowers in her hair. Women especially dress themselves up in the evening because the husband comes home in the evening after working hard all day. It is the duty of the wife to dress herself up very nicely so that when her husband returns home, he becomes attracted by her dress and cleanliness, and thus becomes satisfied. In other words, the wife is the inspiration of all good intelligence. Upon seeing one's wife dressed nicely, one can think very soberly about family business. When a person is too anxious about family affairs, he cannot discharge his family duties nicely. A wife is therefore supposed to be an inspiration and should keep the husband's intelligence in good order so that they can combinedly prosecute the affairs of family life without impediment. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachatam Angung Angayate Vidim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindrabhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Again, I apologize for the inconvenience to all of you. You expected to start at 7. We were not able to get hooked up to my channel on YouTube because of some technical difficulties. So we're hoping that you'll be satisfied with this arrangement. So again, the translation is: the queen took her bath and dressed herself nicely with all auspicious garments and ornaments. After taking food and becoming completely satisfied, she returned to the king. Upon seeing her beautifully decorated, attractive face, the king welcomed her with all devotion. So this is a meaningful translation here. The queen is showing us a good example by taking a bath, dressing herself nicely with auspicious garments and ornaments. And then it's interesting that it's mentioned that she goes and has her dinner. So apparently it's because Puranjan has already eaten. I'm assuming he's already eaten. It was mentioned. Yeah. So after the husband takes his prasadam, then the wife takes her prasadam. Now, in our household, my husband likes me to take prasadam with him at the same time. So I just wait until after he takes a bite, and then I go ahead. So anyway, sometimes we have to tweak things a little bit, but the idea is that we show respect to our husband by letting him eat first. And again, we've talked about this before, that when we come before our husband, we should be clean, we should be dressed nicely, and be wearing ornaments. So let's see. And then when the king saw her beautifully decorated, attractive face, then he welcomed her with all devotion. When the husband sees the wife clean and dressed nicely and decorated nicely with her face looking pretty, and that gives him strength, it gives him energy. So now in Srila Prabhupada's purport, he says, a woman is generally accustomed to dress herself nicely with fine garments and decorative ornaments. There's another place where Srila Prabhupada mentions this. Does anyone know what Prabhupada gives as the reason why girls and women dress themselves up nicely? Who knows the answer to that? It's not just to give energy to the husband. It may be before the girl is married, but she dresses herself nicely because.
Mataji, can I
Yeah.
try? Maybe that's also because the husband feels capable, that she's dressed herself nicely in ornaments, which means he's a capable man.
Oh, well, that's very nice. That's very nice. I was thinking of the purport where Srila Prabhupada says that girls generally dress themselves nicely because they want shelter. They want
Yeah.
shelter.
Sorry.
So that was a good answer too. Very good. Very good. Okay, so Shraddha is trying to say something to me, trying to message me something. And I'm not quite sure how to satisfy you, Shraddha.
Sorry, Mataji. No, it wasn't to you. I was helping Radha Gokula and Mataji on the group. She wasn't
So I
able to
just
log in.
continue.
Yeah, you can continue.
I'm just going to continue. If I get another message from you, then I'll try to figure it out. Okay. So
Yeah, sure.
she may even sometimes wear flowers in her hair. Okay, so women may also sometimes wear flowers in their hair. That's very common here in the South, in South India. I see ladies all the time are wearing flowers in their hair. One time my husband took me shopping for toe rings because due to the fact that we got married in America in 1982 and we didn't know about toe rings at that time. So after we moved to India, he took me to a little silver shop one day and had some toe rings fitted for me. And then the man who was helping us said, yes, there are 6 things that ladies should wear. They should wear flowers in their hair. They should wear bindi and sindoor. They should wear Mangal Sutra. They should wear toe rings. And I forget what the other one was, if there was another one. Anyway, so even they're
Bangles.
considered so important here in the South, flowers in the hair. So, so women especially dress themselves in the evening. Because the husband comes home in the evening after working hard all day. So what's the psychology of that? The psychology of that is that if we treat our husband when he comes home with a clean body and clean clothing and nice hair, nice ornaments, and a smile and sparkling eyes, then what is he going to feel? He's going to feel like, wow, it's such a relief to come home. So nice. You will feel energized. So that's the point. It is the duty of the wife to dress herself up very nicely so that when her husband returns home, he becomes attracted by her dress and cleanliness and thus becomes satisfied. In other words, the wife is the inspiration of all good intelligence. So that's interesting. There's a connection between our husband becoming satisfied by seeing us dressed nicely, clean and dressed nicely and ornamented and satisfied. And then his intelligence kicks in. It helps to renew his good intelligence. So, and I've also read that Srila Prabhupada says that when the husband comes home, if he sees a neat and orderly house where everything is clean and organized nicely, then that also contributes toward the husband's peace of mind. And so then he's able to execute his household duties very nicely and properly. Upon seeing one's wife dressed nicely, one can think very soberly about family business. Well, let's think of the opposite. If the man comes home and the house is all chaotic and cluttered and pandemonious, how is that going to make him feel? What is that going to do to his life heirs? It's going to disturb him. So we should do our best, at least, if we know that he's coming home in 15 minutes, we should stop doing whatever we're doing, start tidying up, have the children look nice and clean, get things quieted down. Then when he walks in, he will appreciate the peaceful atmosphere and he will become renewed more quickly. When a person is too anxious about family affairs, he cannot discharge his family duties nicely. So if our husband is falling short of his duties as far as providing for the family, then we can perhaps look at ourselves and see if we're falling short in some area. Like maybe we're not greeting him properly, maybe we're not keeping the house as clean as it needs to be. Maybe we are, but that's a possibility to consider. So we should be examining ourselves and seeing if we're up to the mark. A wife is therefore supposed to be an inspiration and should keep the husband's intelligence in good order so that they can combinedly prosecute the affairs of family life without impediment. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagvatam, Hare Krishna. That everyone has a copy of Fascinating Womanhood, or at least has downloaded the online version. I've been in touch with Helen Andelin's daughter this past week. She's in charge of the Fascinating Womanhood organization now that her mother has passed away. And I told her that I am a certified Fascinating Womanhood instructor. And she said, well, did you know that you're supposed to be recertified every year? And I said, no, I didn't know that, because the way I got certified was very unusual. So I didn't know all these particulars. So she said, okay, you need to get in touch with Cherry Lynn. So I wrote to Cherry Lynn, and Cherry Lynn said, because of COVID-19, the recertification process has been put on hold. So what we're telling everyone is just go ahead with your meetings. Just do the best you can. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're just going to do the best we can. So I hope that everybody has a copy of Fascinating Womanhood. In my book, which was published in 2007, it was a reprint by Bantam in paperback. So it's this one. So we were supposed to read the introduction. So if anybody didn't get a chance to read the introduction, please do that this week. And please also read the first chapter called Celestial Love. So now I didn't get a chance to do any highlighting this week within the introduction, but I would like to talk about something, because in the introduction and in the first chapter, Helen Andelin talks a lot about love. And Srila Prabhupada has told us many times that there is no love in this material world. But the closest thing to real love is the love between mother and child. Now, in other places, he does say that there is love between husband and wife. There's one very sweet quote where Srila Prabhupada says that in the beginning, when a couple is very young, there's no love between them. But the little girl, she serves her future husband, or maybe they're already married, so she can call him her husband. But until she reaches the age of puberty, she's not allowed to live with him in Vedic culture. According to Vedic culture, that's how it takes place, is that a girl gets married when she's very young, and then when she comes of age, then she's allowed to go and live at the home of her husband. But until then, she just gets to serve him kind of from a distance. Sometimes she'll go over to his house and she'll bring him something to eat. Or like Prabhupada says, she may bring him some pan. I've never tasted that. I have no idea what it's like or what it's for, but Krishna certainly seems to like it. So, and then gradually, over the years, after she moves into her husband's house, and she continues to serve her husband, and then he also serves her by protecting her, providing for her, and giving her clothing and ornaments and children. And gradually their love grows. And Srila Prabhupada said that when they come to the mature time, then they become so close to each other that they cannot tolerate being separated. So there was a very sweet story that Indira Saki Mataji told in her book, How I Achieved Real Success, about a woman from India who came to their home when they were living in the US. She came to their home to clean, and she was having psychological problems. And Indira Saki asked her, "What's wrong?" She said, "I miss my husband too much. We've never been separated like this." So then eventually they made an arrangement for her to return back home to India because she was too much traumatized by being away from her husband. So this is the kind of love that Srila Prabhupada once in a while talks about between husband and wife. So there can actually be love between husband and wife. But real love, as we all know, is between the soul and Krishna. So we serve our husbands as the representative of Krishna, and we gradually learn to love Krishna through serving our husband. That's the purpose of life. We all know that. The purpose of human life is to reawaken our love for God. But Krishna gives us a husband and he gives us children so that we can practice selflessness, we can practice service, and try to do our service with love and devotion for the pleasure of Krishna. And in that way, gradually, we become Krishna's pure devotee. So I just wanted to comment like that. And we should be careful when we read books like this, because she's talking about a very lofty, heavenly situation in which the husband and wife love each other so much. It may never come to that, but when we read through this book, we can get some very good ideas how to understand men, especially men who are still in the bodily concept of life, and how to speak sweet words to them, how to serve them by encouraging them, and how to be the most feminine. Here's some of the helpful tips that I have taken from Fascinating Womanhood and tried to apply and practice in my marriage. And maybe someday you could ask him secretly. I think he's pretty satisfied. So since by Krishna's kind grace, we're actually able to be together tonight. We didn't think we were going to be able to interact. So I'm feeling like maybe we need to open it up for comments, questions, discussion until they turn off our meeting. I'm thinking they're probably going to just arbitrarily turn it off after 40 minutes. So before that
Mother,
happens,
we have
does
time till
anyone have
8:05.
anything?
We have time till 5 minutes past 8.
Okay, good. Well, this is a good time. This is a good time to share some thoughts. This is, it was a surprise to me this week to find out that I don't need to kill myself trying to get re-registered as a teacher, a Fascinating Womanhood teacher, because the president of the organization herself told me just do the best you can with what you have. Here we are in the middle of a pandemic, so I was happy about that. Did anyone add anything to their love booklet this week? I'm looking for my love booklet. I found it. Did I tell you about the time? Well, today my husband was my hero. He joined me for kirtan. We had a kirtan. We always like to do kirtan after I make an offering. After I cook and when the Lord is eating, we like to do kirtan. So today, during the kirtan, a huge wasp came flying inside the house and he got stuck on the screen. He didn't know how to get out. And so he was forced to stay there for the whole kirtan. So he got to hear lots of Hare Krishna. But then after, I said, Prabhuji, I'm afraid of wasps. Can you please get this guy out of here? And he said, oh, I'm not afraid at all. And he opened the screen and he coaxed that big wasp outside. And I said, yay, very good. Thank you, Prabhuji. So that was my little thing I wanted to share with all of you. That my husband was my fearless hero today. Also, when I was cooking, I needed help with something that required more strength than I had. I was grinding some peanuts to put into a wrap today, and it was too hard. So I said, Prabhuji, can you lend me your masculine strength. And he said, oh, sure, sure. And stood up and came in the kitchen right away. And he was grinding the peanuts and just so proud of himself. And then after a little while, I came out to the dining room again. And I said, Prabhuji, I need your muscles again, because I need you to squeeze a lemon for me. It hurts my hand too much. So he came in and he squeezed them, and he showed off how hard he can squeeze them. So those are some little stories I could share with you. Does anyone else have a little success story or anything they'd like to share?
Mataji, I had a question, if it's okay.
Okay.
So you were talking about we should not eat before our husband does. So I have a health
Your
problem.
voice is in and out, Shraddha. I didn't hear what you said.
You were saying that we should not eat before our husband. We should eat only after he has eaten. Are you able to hear?
Uh-huh.
So I have a health problem that if I don't stick to my meal times, I get acidity and headache and stuff. Whereas my Prabhuji is
Yeah,
unpredictable.
you have to, that has to take priority.
Okay.
I'm sorry, your voice went away, so I started talking. Excuse me. I thought you were finished. Anyway, so yeah, when you have a health problem and you have to eat a certain number of times or at a certain time, then you have to stick to that. You know, we're not followers of, what's that word? Niyamagraha means following the regulations without knowing the reason. So, no, yeah, you have to be practical. Have to be practical.
Thank you, Mother.
Bahula Mataji also has some trouble with heartburn or hyperacidity, something. Right, Bahula? You were
Yes,
having trouble.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
How is your baby?
Yes, she's taking dinner, Mataji.
Oh, very good. So how are you feeling now?
Yeah, it's improving, Mataji, because one Mataji, she is our God sister. She is helping me in a such a way. So I'm just now in very early phase. So I can't say anything, but I'm feeling 50% of relief with her Ayurvedic treatments. Very small, small homemade remedies she is telling, but it's effective. Like she told me early morning, whomever have some problem, tulsi leaves, so it's very help in acidity. Hare Krishna.
Sorry to interrupt. We have 5 minutes left.
Sorry, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
It's probably on my end. We have a little trouble with our connection. Okay, well, I'm glad that you're having some results. That's good.
Yes,
Mhm.
Mataji is improving with the very little, no need doctors, nothing from outside. Like in the, like she is telling, whomever have an acidity problem, they have to take some ginger with the lunch, dinner. and morning breakfast. Then in the evening we have to take lukewarm water with some lemon, some black salt, something like this. I'm trying that because my problem is very high before that, so it will take time for recovery.
Okay, well, I'm proud of you for trying and making some steps toward getting healthy. That's very good. Okay, anybody else have a comment or a question or a realization or
Mataji, I
good
have one question.
experience this last week? I wanted to apologize to all of you for scaring you.
Your voice is not coming, Mataji.
So yesterday morning, I was at the hospital all morning, and it was because of the pap smear that I had tried. You know, they tried to give me a pap smear, and it came back insufficient sample, so we had to try again. And because of coronavirus, the hospital has been shut down for a number of months. So we just got an opportunity to go and take care of that yesterday. So that was all. It was just a routine thing. So sorry, I didn't mean to make everybody worried. Hare Krishna. Thanks for joining us across the ocean, Lalita.
Thank you, Mataji, for taking the class despite everything else
Everything
going
okay
on.
over there in Alice?
Yes, Mataji, we are okay. Thank you for asking, Mataji.
Let's see who else is here. Hare Krishna. Krishnangi, were you able to join Chakrapani Prabhu's class today?
No, Mataji. I didn't get the link. I'm not that keeping up to date with all the groups, but at least on Tower of Inspiration, I couldn't found the link because so I think she might have to attend it on YouTube.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Matajis. We have less than a minute left, and I think Falini Mataji has dropped off. So we'll have to end the meeting because anyway we'll get abruptly cut off once the time is over. So Dandavat to everybody.
And pranam, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. And hopefully next week will be easier. Assignment for next week is to read the chapter 1. Okay?
Okay,
Hare
Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Shraddha
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
Dandavat.